Hey everyone, my name is Chelsea Barrett, and I'm going to be talking about delighting in the Lord today. We're going to be coming from Psalm 37, verses 1 through 4, and I'm just going to give some ways that you can increase your time with God and grow in delighting in Him. All right, so we're going to start off by reading verses 1 through 4, and I'm going to be reading out of the Living Translation. It says, "Never envy the wicked. Soon they fade away like grass and disappear. Trust in the Lord instead. Be kind and good to others. Then you will live safely here in the land and prosper, feeding in safety." Verse 4. Be delighted with the Lord. Then He will give you all of your heart's desires. So this is basically saying that we should never be jealous of those who are in sin or who's doing wicked. And sometimes the devil likes to throw it up as, well, they're getting all of these blessings. It looks like you're serving God and nothing's happening, or God is not doing anything for you. But that is a lie from the pit of hell. Jesus wants you to know, like He says in the Word, that He is the life, and He came to bring us life, and life more abundantly. And so that means that even if it looks like the wicked is prospering, that's just deception to get you to believe that it doesn't pay to serve God, and we know that's a lie. So God is saying here, don't be jealous when you see others prospering that are in sin, because eventually in the end they're going to fade away. Instead, we are to trust in the Lord, treat others right, and we will be safe and prosperous. Okay, so what does delight in the Lord mean? Delight means to take pleasure in, not to get anything from God, but because you want to truly know who He is, and you want to know His character. You want to know what He likes, what He dislikes, those types of things. And that's the same as like when you're getting to know somebody, a couple, when they're getting to know each other, they're wanting to spend every moment with each other because it's like they have such a strong desire and strong love for each other. It's not to get anything, but just because they love being in that person's presence, and they love being around that person. They want to get to know that person, and so on. And God wants us to have the same relationship with Him, not to get anything, but to just, because that's who He is. We want to know Him, and we want to have more intimacy with our God. And so I wrote down some ways that we can actually delight in the Lord, and how you can learn to delight in the Lord. The first thing is you want to make sure that you spend time with Him, and you want to spend time in the Word. The Word shows everything we need to know about God. It shows His character. It shows what He likes, what He doesn't like. It shows what makes Him happy, what makes Him upset. Everything. It shows who He is. He's a provider. He's a healer. It shows that He's our refuge. So anything that we need, and also the promises that God has promised us are in here. Anything that we need for life is in the Word. So if you don't know the Word, you cannot get intimately close to the Lord, because you don't know who He is, as you know, in your own personal relationship. So it's important that you get up every day and spend time with the Lord before you start your day, preferably, because you want to give God the first part of your day. And this is how you start to draw closer to Him. And He says if you draw closer to Him, that He will draw closer to you. All right, number 2. You want to be thankful for things that He does, even the simple things. Like, I know yesterday I was doing something. I had got some mail, and I was actually thinking I owed something. And I was like, no, I can't possibly owe something. I had completely read it wrong, but I was actually calling them because I didn't figure it out before I had called. And so I was calling them to find out what's going on and what am I owing for. And so as I was on the phone, and I kept thinking, Lord, what is this about? And immediately the thought came to me, read it again. That's not actually what it means. It means that you actually don't owe anything. It's just telling you something else, you know. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I immediately hung up, and I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for letting me know this, because I didn't even take time to really read it the way that I should have. Or the other week I was cooking, or the Holy Spirit gave me a recipe to change something up that I would normally cook it a certain way. And I was like, okay. He told me to add something in there that I didn't even think to add in and originally. And so I added it, and my husband loved it, and it came out perfectly. So I was like, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit, for that recipe. I said, I wouldn't even thought to do that. So it's like little things you think about. Thank him for waking you up. Thank him for your family. Thank him for your friends. Thank him for your health. Thank him for your job. Everything you can think of, that's what you want to start off doing every day, is thanking God for protecting you. Just little things, even things that you don't see, you want to thank him for, because having a thankful heart makes God happy when we are thankful. All right. Number 3, we want to be obedient to what he says to do. When you know God is telling you to do something, you want to be obedient and do it. That shows that you actually trust him at his word, and you have reverence and respect and fear for him because you're obeying him. You're not doing it out of fear, but you're doing it because you fear him, and because you want to be faithful to God. And God says in the word that obedience is better than sacrifice. So in all things, we want to be obedient to God. Okay, and the last one that I wrote was, you want to trust him even if you don't understand what's going on. That's one way you can delight in him. God does not like doubt. He does not like a doubter. He says in the word that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and he shall receive nothing from God. And so, and it also says without faith it's impossible to please God. So you have to trust God, take him at his word, and do what he says, even if you don't understand why things are happening the way that they're happening. Continue to trust God and know that he has your best interest at heart. And eventually, the closer you start to do all of these things, the more you start to do all these things, the closer you will become to God, and your desires will start to change. You'll find that a lot of the things that you thought you want, you will no longer want, or some of the things that you didn't think you want, now you want. Because you're aligning yourself up to God's will. Because the more you spend time with God, the more you're aligning yourself to him and what he wants for your life. All right, so I hope that it helps somebody to understand what delighting means, and hopefully that will help you increase your intimacy with God. Hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.